Solo Leveling Arise Overdrive, the fast-paced action RPG based on the popular Solo Leveling franchise, has just been released. Head on over to Steam to begin Sung Jin-Woo's epic journey to become Shadow Monarch today.
Today, in the nerdy news you need to know about, a new trademark for Control has been found. Capcom is reportedly making a new Dead Rising, a game we know that's making an appearance at the Game Awards, and shout out to Kinda Funny best friend IC Wiener, who 2 months ago told us he had an avocado-sized brain tumor that requires surgery and had a 40% chance of paralyzing him on his left side. I'm happy to report everyone that surgery was Friday. He is alive and he's not paralyzed.
Yeah.
We'll have all this and more because this is Kinda Funny Games Daily. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Kinda Funny Games Daily for Monday, December 1st, 2025. I'm one of your hosts, Greg Miller, alongside Forbes 30 Under 30, a.k.a. New York Game Awards nominated, a.k.a. Leftovers Poppy Blessing Adeoye Jr.
Oh, I've been big leftover Poppy.
I figured you had, man.
Oh, man.
Now, I saw you starting this shit, though, on the rice. Where you're like, I'm going to see how
Ghanaian jollof rice.
Yeah, it compares to Nigerian.
Yeah, because it's a whole debate. The Ghanaians are out here.
We all know.
If I can tell, because my sister,
a
Nigerian woman, is married to a Ghanaian man.
Okay.
And so this year, she did all the cooking for Thanksgiving because she hosted it in her place at Seattle.
Yeah.
And she cooked Ghanaian jollof rice. My first time having Ghanaian jollof rice, and I posted on Instagram stories. I'm like, all right, I'm going to try this rice, and then I posted another story saying Nigerian jollof is better.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, Ghanaian jollof rice, that shit hits as leftovers though.
Oh yeah, okay,
I was there for the full day after because we were there for Thursday Thanksgiving, and then Friday I didn't leave until the very end of the day.
Yeah,
and like when I tell you I had that same meal 3 days in a row on Friday, just macaroni and cheese and Ghanaian jollof rice, and it was really good. I'm never gonna say it's as good as Nigerian jollof rice, but that's more so pride, if anything. If I'm being real, it was really good. So shout out. That was good.
Okay, good. I'm glad that worked out for you. Did you have a nice break?
I did have a nice break. I feel like I did so much.
Yeah.
I went to Seattle, hung out with the family. I did a Friendsgiving as well, which was really fun to do on Saturday. I beat Kirby Air Riders, which isn't like a big feat. It's a short, if you're doing the the road tour. Road trip? Road trip.
Okay.
If you're doing the road trip mode, it's like a few hours, but it was nice to play that. That was my travel game. And then last night, I started up 2 different games.
Oh.
I made a list.
Oh.
I made a list of my road to the game of the year. My December 2025 backlog.
The required homework here. What do we got to knock off? What do we got to get done?
So the 2 things that I started last night were Citizen Sleeper 2.
Yeah.
Because at the Friendsgiving, Barrett came to me and he was like, yo, you got to play Citizen Sleeper 2.
Because I promised Andy I would play it in December, but then I didn't have a lot going on Thanksgiving break, so...
Citizen Sleeper 2, great game.
Yeah, and played through it in 2 days. Fell in love with it. Had to tell Blessing about
Man, how long did it take you?
It was like maybe 12 hours, if that. Like way shorter than I was expecting.
Interesting. Yeah, I remember back at launch when Andy was reviewing it. I did like 5 hours, 4 hours, something like that. I liked that a lot.
Yeah.
Go back to it. It the way it ends, I was like, God damn, this might be one of my favorite written games this year.
And I started up Silent Hill F last night.
All right.
After I saw all the Game Awards nominations, I was like, okay, this seems like one that I should check out. I also, over the weekend, got to play around with my analog 3D.
I saw that.
Yes.
I saw that.
Yeah.
Very cool.
If you followed along, Tim's had his like Analog Pocket for years, which has been his like Game Boy machine that he got from Analog, the company that makes all of these cool retro hardwares. They just put out Analog 3D, which is their N64 that you can play on 4K TVs.
Yeah.
And it was really cool getting it and being like, all right, I prepared for this because this shit got delayed hella times this year. And so earlier in the year, I stopped by Pink Gorilla one of the few times I was in Seattle.
Yeah.
And I bought a couple of cartridges for N64 games that I owned as a kid, Wayne Gretzky's 3D Hockey, and 007, The World Is Not Enough, not GoldenEye.
Sure, why not? Yeah.
And set it up over the weekend, started messing around with those, and then I went and dug into like a tub that I have in my closet of like just a bunch of old shit. And I found my original DK64 cartridge from when I was a kid.
Yeah.
And I had tried using that here and there throughout time, and like it just stopped working. And so I just assumed that it was broken, but I just kept the cartridge just cause.
Of course, yeah.
And yesterday I was like, you know what? Let me try. I got a cartridge cleaner that came with the device. So let me clean out this thing. Let me do it. Put it in, and it worked.
Yeah.
And like I saw my save 91 hours into playing DK64.
I saw you put this up on Instagram.
Yeah. And legitimately like just all the emotions flooded in of like, man, that's crazy. I was playing this when I was 7, 8 years old, hooked on this thing, and now like it's back running. So I'm messing around with the save a little bit, played Jetpack, which was the thing that kept me from actually beating the game as a kid. It was a really fun time.
So talk to me about this. You've bought this analog now for N64 and yada yada. What's your when you say I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna get it, I'm gonna spend the money on it, what's your use case? Is this you just wanted to be able to tinker with this stuff for a night and it's cool to have, or do you expect like I am going to go back and play X, Y, and Z?
It's definitely, I'm going to tinker for a night and then it's cool to have. But I'm such a N64 fan because that was my first console. I grew up with it. And so I have like such intense nostalgia for that console that even on my Switch Online or allegedly on the Steam Deck, I'm just randomly booting up N64 games all the time. And like there's plenty of stuff there that's great for just multiplayer. The analog 3D comes with the ports, and so if I have actual N64 controllers, I can just plug those in. And so if people are over, it's like, okay, we can play Smash, we can play original Mario Party, stuff like that. But then also there's plenty
Wave Race.
There's plenty of there's plenty of N64 games that have just like fun arcadey type stuff where I can hop in. Like I can play Mario Tennis for like 30 minutes and have fun, or I can play. N64 games are also very short, so I can like beat Diddy Kong Racing in an afternoon if I wanted to. And so it's definitely that. I want to start collecting, and I use collecting like loosely. N64 cartridges that mainly the ones that I had as a kid to kind of rebuild that collection. And so I'm excited to use it, but it's definitely not. I'm gonna spend all my time playing the analog.
Sure. Yeah, I was just wondering what it meant for you. Yeah, it's interesting.
And so it's definitely like. Already, I'm like, this is worth the purchase just for booting up DK64.
I don't remember how much it was.
I want to say like $300, somewhere around that realm. Correct me if I'm wrong, chat.
They will. Don't worry. They love doing that.
Are you like a retro console person? Would this ever speak to you?
No, I mean, I am in the way of I've the similar thing of like, I needed to move stuff around in the basement yesterday, and I opened up the couch storage and I was moving things around. I was like, oh man, I was excited. I forgot that I had X-Men Origins Wolverine on PS3. I was like, oh shit, fuck, I gotta play that. But then, I have my Sealed No Mercy in there and my Superman 64 cartridge. Like, I have the games that mean a lot to me in there, but it's like, even if I had access to them, I think it would be, this is so cool. Pop it in, play for a little bit, and then bounce. You know what I mean? Like, if I really was, how I'm not, and you know how the job is, but if I'm not to go back and play old stuff, if I was to be like, I need to play Majora's Mask, I would assume Majora's Mask is on Nintendo Switch Online, isn't it? Like,
probably.
Yeah, and I would go play it. But like, that's how disconnected I am, where it's like, I'd be stoked for the Ocarina remake rather than go back and replay it.
Yeah.
But I'm with you of like, if I was to buy it, it would be this cool thing to do, sit, look at, fuck around.
When you have people over, it's like, we can fuck around with this for 30 minutes if you're down to do this.
Yeah.
I was playing it was so nice. Also the nice thing of being able to play these games as an adult, where DK64, me and Barrett did the whole October thing where we finally beat it. And so I'm like, do I go back and just finally beat this game on the save?
You couldn't do when you were the kid.
The thing I couldn't do as a kid, I finished the story, Cody Rhodes style.
And you were at like 71% or something when you showed your progress on the...
Which is so ridiculous for 91 hours.
Yeah, well, it's DK64. DK64 as a child.
I'm not judging. It's just funny to see those numbers.
Oh, yeah. And I even went as far as like, do I 100% this game? Yeah. I'm already this far.
Do I do the 101% where you find the crazy hidden rainbow coin and shit like that?
Yeah. So maybe there's that. I didn't have I think it was called a controller pack. It was the thing that you
Rumble pack.
No, not the Rumble pack. It was the thing that you saved your
pack.
Game. Not the expansion pack.
Oh, I think it was the saved cartridge you put in the base of the 64.
I think it's just called a controller pack.
Okay.
But you would save. Certain games required that to keep saves, like The World Is Not Enough.
Yeah.
And so I never beat that game because I just never saved my game, and I was always stuck on a certain level. Yeah. So now I'm like, do I go back and do that? I've been playing it a little bit at a time. It's nice. I love this thing for now.
Hell yeah, I'm glad. That's great for you. What's great for us is video game news, and that's what we're going to cover because this is Kinda Funny Games Daily. Each and every weekday on a variety of platforms, we run you through the nerdy video game news you need to know about live on youtube.com/kindafunnygames, twitch.tv/kindafunnygames, and podcast services around the globe. If you like that, we'd like you to pick up a Kinda Funny membership. $10 on patreon.com/kindafunny, youtube.com/kindafunnygames. Apple or Spotify gets you all of our shows. That's more than $80 a month ad-free. And of course, it gets you your daily dose of me, Greg Miller, in a series we call Gregway. And of course, it gets you good karma for supporting an 11-person small business all about live talk shows. No bucks tossed away, no big deal. Like, subscribe, share, watch us for free while we're live or later. And of course, if you're watching right now and want to toss just some bucks at us, go over to the one, the only, youtube.com/kindafunnygames and super chat to be part of the show with your questions, your comments, your concerns as we roll on. Kebabs writes in and says, also, moment of silence for Kebabs. Kebabs has been diagnosed celiac. No more glue. A heartbreaker. A heartbreaker. I saw that in the chat when we were.
I'm sorry, Kebabs.
I recommend Blessing buy an EverDrive 64 for the analog 3D. It lets you play N64 games digitally, which helps get around the high price of real cartridges.
I was looking into some of those. Like, I think they call them flash carts, where it's like.
Kebab's been in it for 3 years, but was just for some reason bitching about it today. Well, fuck you, Kebabs. I tried to be nice for a change. Now you only get the whip. Back. No more carrots.
No more bread. But yeah, like it's See, that's what she has.
I know.
But yeah, no, I was looking into like the 100 games in one carts and shit like that. I didn't even know if they had made those for N64, but yeah, I'm trying to figure out how to save that money because turns out N64 cartridges is still expensive.
Yeah.
Costs a lot of money.
Of course, housekeeping. Like I said, we're all about live talk shows. After this, you're getting our review on Gamescast of Marvel Cosmic Invasion. Very excited to sit down with Tim and Andy and talk about that one. After the Gamescast is an episode of the Kinda Funny podcast. And then the stream is going to be us all in the studio here playing Cosmic Invasion together for a little launch party we're throwing just to have fun and hang out. If you're a Kinda Funny member, today's Gregway is 15 minutes behind the scenes of Greg's Marvel Cosmic Invasion review. Thank you. You know what? Hold on real quick, too. Hold on. Where's my Gmail? Gmail up here. The stream we're doing. It's going to be a lot of fun. And I do believe I got codes to give away, but it was one of those where like we were having the conversation back and forth before we got, you know what I mean, like for break or whatever. I say Friday stream, it looks like, okay, I have 10 codes to give away. Yes.
Ooh,
I might have a fight stick. I don't know if that's true or not. I will see if that shows up in time.
You were playing Marvel Cosmic Invasion with a fight stick?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Because it's like, you know, like an arcade
Oh, you know,
right?
I guess that makes sense.
Yeah. I'll keep you posted on that, but we'll have codes for sure to give away. This is just for fun. We're just hanging out. Thank you to our Patreon producers, Carl Jacobs, Omega Buster, and Delaney the Psalm Twining. For now, let's begin the show with what is and forever will be the Roper Report. Time for some news. 7 items on the Roper Report.
A baker's dozen.
Number 1, a report says new trademark for Control, Resonant, Unearthed, ahead of the TGAs. This is Ephraim over at MP First. With the announcement of the Game Awards nominees, it's safe to say we have officially arrived at the season of news and rumors surrounding the event. And I'll stop you right there. It's always news and rumors time. We're talking about things that didn't show up at State of Play in June. We're like, well, then was it going to be a Game Awards? That's how you make content, all right? We are already seeing the effects behind the scenes. From the recent rating of a PC port of Death Stranding 2 on the beach to Hasbro confirming that Exodus will be part of the Game Awards lineup. But this appears to be just the very tip of the iceberg, as yet another recent move suggests an announcement related to the Control franchise could be imminent. This speculation of ours is tied to a recent trademark discovery, as a product titled Control Resonant has recently been registered in Europe. The product in question is classified under several tags, including video game services, miscellaneous products, and the production of entertainment in the form of TV series and cinematographic? Cinematographic films.
Cinematographic.
Y'all in Europe, you crazy.
I got it. It's cinematographic.
Cinematographic.
That ain't no word.
That ain't a fucking word. Get out of here, Lucy James. You might wonder whether this trademark is related to the game franchise, since the owner's information is hidden, but we can quickly dispel those doubts. If you look at the trademark representative listed in the description, you will see it's Nordia Attorneys at Law, the same representative used by Remedy Entertainment for all of their trademarks. A sequel to Remedy's critically acclaimed game Control was announced back in 2022 and entered full production in February of this year. Another major project revealed in 2022 was Remedy's collaboration with Annapurna Interactive for the creation of film and TV series adaptations for both Control and the Alan Wake franchise. Blessing.
Greg.
Will we see Control Resonant at the Game Awards?
Ooh. I mean, on the timing of this, I wouldn't be surprised. It's always tough to read not even the validity, I guess the direction of trademarks, right? Because this exists.
Yes.
Will this actually result in anything? That's always the question with the trademarks online. My question I'll throw back to you before we can get to the Game Awards aspect of it is Control Resonant. What does Control Resonant sound like to you? Does that sound like a new game?
No.
It doesn't, right?
Alan Wake 2 did really well. So you got to think we're going to call it Control 2.
Yeah.
We understand we have the Remedy verse here. It's building in people loving it and caring about it. It's like, why would you get in the way of that? And it's the same thing of like, they bring up the Annapurna stuff. And of course, this is classified under video game services, miscellaneous products, and the production of entertainment in the form of TV series and cinematographic films. Like, I don't foresee this being the Annapurna thing either.
Control Resonant, for some reason, gives me anime series or like animated series.
Yeah. No, I don't think that's wrong.
Yeah.
I don't think that, and I think that would
Somebody says mobile game, which also
fuck me.
Like, I feel like a Control sequel, you just go Control 2, right?
Yeah.
Or like, I feel like, listen, nothing against the word Resonant. I feel like Resonant isn't cool enough of a subtitle for a full sequel.
Well, I love, it's always fun to say stuff here. Like in the beginning, I talked about Icy Wiener and the thing, right?
Yeah.
And so many people hear icy, like it's cold, when like it actually is capital I, capital C, icy.
Icy Wiener.
Yeah. And it's the same thing here where we said Resonant, and I know I pronounce everything like a Chicago guy, so I fuck up riff all the time, right? But in the chat, you're like Resident Evil. I'm like, no, Resonant. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think it. Yay! I don't think you call it that. I don't know, but I also then, like, honestly, I feel like Remedy keeps making interesting choices.
That's also
are they making the right choices all the time? What are they doing? Like, I could easily see this being some kind of like collection where it's a re-release of fucking Control with some other thing added. And I don't like that. I don't like that. And I know they've already done the PS5 version of Control.
I don't know what else they would bundle in. There's only one Control game.
I know.
They've already remastered it.
I mean, maybe you're bringing in.
Like, it feels.
But
Control.
What if it comes with cool collectibles? Like, say, for instance, like, what if it comes with like a little statue of Ati?
That'd be cool. I mean, I don't think you release a whole new edition and do a trademark
for Ati. I would.
Okay, Resonant. When you think of Resonant.
Well, right now in the chat, Doug goes, why is Greg adding a D to resonate? And we're not saying resonate. We're saying resonant.
Resonant. I'm just trying to pick up what they're putting down. You know what I mean?
Resonant. Yeah.
Here's the thing. I think whatever it is, I could see it showing up at Game Awards, and I could see it being underwhelming. Because I think it's a TV thing. If it's a mobile thing, I don't even think it shows up at Game Awards unless it's like a commercial.
My thing about it being a TV thing is this is just such a. This is how you and me would announce a TV thing. Whereas that they never announce TV things the way gamers would do it. Mm-hmm. I would come out and be like, Game Awards, the thing you love, here's the thing with Annapurna, and it's a teaser, this would be a fucking variety article.
You're right, yeah.
Where they're like, it's produced by whoever who does the showrunner on X, Y, and Z. And
we would have known about this for the last year.
It's been promoted, yeah. So that's why I don't think it's an actual traditional entertainment property in terms of like, something that, because Variety Deadline, like Annapurna would go there and put it in there, and that's where they would start with this conversation. So then you're back to what would we get at Game Awards, where I don't think it's, I would call it Control 2. Yeah. You know what I mean? I guess it could easily be that this is the first teaser trailer, and we do get this at the end of it, the title.
Yeah.
I guess that's what it's got to be.
I don't know why if they go with
Control Restaurant as the chat continues.
If they go with like a colon subtitle type thing.
The dog Nick 96 points out that a resonant adjective continuing to sound echoing.
And see, if it was called Control Echo, I could almost see that. Like, I feel like whatever thing comes after Control should be like a short, pointed word.
Upgrade. Yeah, upgraded. Oh, upgraded. I see. 88 says radio drama, resident, all audio.
See, that's what I was trying to.
Okay.
Resonant.
See,
okay.
That actually is so far. Ding, ding, ding. I think that's the best bet so far.
We get like a clip of Ati listening to it in his earbuds.
Well, Sam Lake comes out to give an award and also talks about this and.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah.
I'd also play a Control tabletop game.
That is another thing where I could definitely see it being some kind of tabletop RPG. Whatever, like
that fits into miscellaneous products.
Yeah. Again, and that even it starts spinning out, right? You said mobile game, but what if we were just going indie game, right? It was a smaller Control.
Okay, kind of like how Nintendo did like the Cadence of Hyrule.
Yeah. What if we were it is Remedy partnering up with someone to make a smaller Control experience where whatever you're doing is whatever you're doing, but
yeah. When I think of Resonant, I think of like we talked about, like kind of like the sound frequency, like resonating or whatever. I guess when I think of Control, I also kind of think of when you're using your powers, he like grabs a thing and it's kind of like doing like
shake.
I feel like there's something there, but I feel again this feels like I'm just grasping at straws.
We're talking about what it reasonably could be because I don't think this is going to be the full blown one. No. Battle Frankie 28 says it's a VR thing. Yeah, could see that too.
Actually, you know what? That'd be fucking sick. A Control VR game. I mean, any VR game is not exciting, but a Control. But for
you gonna go play it? It's a fucking sick announcement. Who are you going to strap the headset on and go play it?
I think they can make it.
They
look
gotta
cool.
come back from Firebreak. All right, they need successes. They don't need cool things.
What's a better proposition than a VR title? Fucking make it exclusive to Meta. I don't know.
Right, well, first off, there you go. No, I don't. No shade. If you actually are in bed with Meta and they're fucking financing the game and they're allowing this to go make your thing, make sure you're making a game that makes money. Unlike FBC Firebreak.
When do we see the next full Control game? Control 2. Where are they at? Because I know they always
full
talk
production
about
in February. It just started this year, full production.
Okay.
So maybe 2 years?
But like they gotta start marketing it before that. I guess they don't have to, but based on video game market, I would expect them to start.
Well, I mean, technically it already has.
Just from
did we ever leave the Control 2 hype cycle? Wasn't Alan Wake 2 part of the Control 2 life cycle?
It's all part of the Remedyverse.
It's all part of the Remedyverse, yeah.
I could see it being another year before we get a Control 2 trailer.
I'm gonna say 2 years.
2 years? Okay.
Not that I think they're off track. I think they're gonna want to be bigger and better. I'll be interested to see, how long it takes to get there and do that. I'll say 2 years.
Fair enough.
Okay, thank you very much. Would you like to move on to another sequel?
Please.
Number 2 on the Roper Report. Capcom is reportedly working on a new Dead Rising sequel starring Frank West. This is Andy Robinson of VGC. Capcom is working on a new Dead Rising game. That's according to a new report from MP First again, which VGC can partially corroborate with our own sources, which claims that an in-development zombie action sequel will also see the return of original protagonist Frank West. The project in question won't be a remaster or a remake, but a new main entry in the series, the publication claims. It's said the new Dead Rising will see West head to Hollywood, with action primarily taking place within a massive enclosed movie studio lot, where the game's main villain, quote, forces Frank and other survivors into various trials, all in the pursuit of filming his perfect movie, end quote. Capcom has said it's working on, quote, reactivating dormant IPs, end quote, following the announcements of Onimusha and Okami sequels last year. Oh, where do we begin?
I feel like
what is your Dead Rising?
I'm not really a Dead Rising person. I tried out Dead Rising 2 when that came out back in the day, and just it didn't stick with me.
Sure.
And I feel like maybe it's because I followed the rules too much. I feel like that's one where you ignore the timer they put on you and just fuck around. But I didn't do that. I got too much anxiety, and so I was like, you know what? I got to do everything before the time runs out. And then early on, I was like, fuck this shit, I'm out.
Sure. I adore Dead Rising.
Okay.
Dead Rising is such a core video game memory for me, and I would say it might even be alongside the PSP, and I bought that right after college, right? Dead Rising would be in that camp of this is the definitive, my first adult video game memories, where I had Dead Rising.
Dead Rising.
Right.
Okay.
Because, I love zombie movies. Zombie movies are my favorite horror genre, and I love horror and yada, yada, yada. So when Dead Rising came out, and 2024, right? So that's the deluxe remaster. 2006. There it is. Thank you very much. I, right around that time, is when I convinced the newspaper I was working at to give me the video game column and blog. That's also then right around the time that I forced the newspaper to buy me a 360 by doing shady things. And so then I had the 360 and I started writing to video game PR to get games. And so I got Dead Rising from Capcom. And I remember this was the achievements were part of it. This is like, the seeds of trophies, I assume. But like, I remember playing through it and beating it. And then I would do the thing where I would come home from work, I would make dinner for my girlfriend, and then I would sit there and I would do the zombie genocide trophy or whatever it was, where you had to kill however many hundred thousands of zombies. And I would just drive the same circuit in the basement with the car. And then you get out and you go up here and the car would respawn and you get the car and you drive. You know what I mean? Like, I loved Dead Rising so much. And then went from there to IGN, where I started reviewing them, and I forget which ones and how many. But it's like, for me, Dead Rising as a brand is such a fumble. Where Dead Rising 1 captured that, hey, we want to be in a Ramiro movie, you're in the mall, we're making a Dawn of the Dead game even though it's not, ha ha ha. And then Capcom just wanted to keep going and get weird with it. And I think it's an interesting thing comparing it to what Capcom does in Resident Evil, and I think it's an interesting thing in comparing it to how Japanese video games and narratives tend to go versus a Western one, where I think so many Western audiences just wanted the experience of, I'm in a mall and I want to survive these zombies. And I was with you of like, playing that game, the timer drove me fucking crazy. I was like, I don't want this. I just want to be able to tackle the quests at any point in time and blah, blah, blah. I got over it and played through it and yada, yada, yada. But then as we went on, and Dead Rising 2 was the motorcycle jacket, where it was like a game show I was on, and it was like, what the fuck is this? And then they kept delaying giving you Frank West, and by the time we came back to Frank West, we'd already had so many misses where it was like, does anyone care about this? And then off the record.
This was the question. There were other protagonists that weren't Frank West. That's the man in my head for every single one of these games.
Well, it's because, again, I feel like they fumbled the bag, where people wanted that so badly, and they were like, no, we're going to get interesting and weird with it. And then by the time they came back, they had eroded the goodwill and whatever the name Dead Rising was, to now that I read this and I go, fuck, man, just reboot it. Just be done with it. This sounds like a cool concept. Hey, we're going to be here, and there's a guy torturing you in a thing. Okay, I like, whatever, like, okay, but I would be way more stoked if they were like, listen, we're throwing it all away, we're restarting it, it's going to be not a remake, but a reboot, it's Frank West in a mall, here's what's going on. But I know we've remastered it a few times. Roger and Mike did their whole stream about it, right, when they did the remaster and drop on it. So it's like, it gets me excited, but I've been burned so many times. I've been hurt so many times by getting the Dead Rising game I didn't want.
It's also been a longer time since the last Dead Rising game, right? Like, I feel like these were coming out at a pretty quick clip, because they had Dead Rising 3, I imagine, towards the beginning of the Xbox One era.
Yeah, was that the Christmas Santa themed one or whatever?
Yeah,
I remember playing that.
It was an Xbox exclusive, and I feel like Dead Rising 4 wasn't too long after that.
Dead Rising 4
that was
2016.
That was like one of the first games I remember like being assigned for IGN.
So it being 9 years later, plus them having just released a remaster / remake of the original, do you feel like they have the message? Do you feel like this break might give them the right, I guess, give them the ability to get their wheels back on track for what Dead Rising needs to be?
There's so much baggage, you know what I mean? And again, I'm looking through it, like, I cannot, again, reviewed many of these. I remember this Dead Rising 4 for sure, or 3. I remember 4 as well. But like, there was one of them that didn't even have like the psychopaths. Like, that was such a big part of the original Dead Rising, finding these crazy like big bosses to go fight that didn't have. It's like, I don't know. There's so much baggage connected to this. And as you continue to go, right? Because like, what the original one had Inafune, like, was one of the designers, right? So like, it's always going to be people trying to, I think, copy what somebody else did and try to figure out, well, like, you can see it. You walk into the room, there's the whiteboard in the conference room. All right, what is Dead Rising? Well, zombies, of course. Okay, contain timed missions, this, that, the other.
Yeah.
It's like, at some point, like, we're just carbon copying the same thing that I would rather see somebody blow it up and go for.
If you were in the boardroom, you had the whiteboard, you can write down 3 things that Dead Rising needs to be. What are the 3 things you're writing down?
Do I need to say zombies, or were you fine with that?
Where you don't have to say zombies. We get that.
I would write B-movie horror.
Okay.
I would start there, where I think like Dead Rising original, OG, again, hit so much because it was you were living Dawn of the Dead, which is serious in many regards, but then it also isn't serious in so many, right? So it's like when Frank's running on top of zombies and da-da-da-da, like that all worked. And eventually, you know, getting there and unlocking and getting like the actual Mega Man blaster and helmet and running around and shooting things like that. That was so cool and so much fun. But there was the seriousness of it. But like, you need that B horror schlock. You know what I mean? Like, these characters are just eating the scenery and they don't need it. But you can't go so far beyond over the top. Like, it needs to be what I think a good B movie horror is, where it's like it's grounded in reality to a degree. Like, the idea that Frank was a photojournalist and was there to get the big scoop, like, that was cool, and that was a great way to go. To jump ahead to, I'm fucking, what was his name, Chuck somebody or other, I'm the motorcycle man, Chuck, and they have my daughter, and I'm like, what the fuck is going, you know what I mean? So B horror movie I would put at the top of it, right? You need the, I'm trying to think of the right adjective, because I want to say crazy weapons, but that's not right, because the people go the wrong way with that.
Because that's what I was
over the top weapons.
Because like if you ask me the three things I associate with Dead Rising, I would think like antics, I guess, which might be the wrong thing, right? And then I think of the weapons of combining different shit to create crazy unconventional weapons.
Yeah,
that's like one of the main things I think about. I don't know if that's accurate to what you actually want.
Yeah, no, I think so.
It is?
No,
Okay.
yeah,
I think
love having
unconventional
katanas,
is
but
the
I love
right
having
adjective.
electrified stuff. And I know that, like, again, Dead Island and so many other games have gone on and taken that further. Like, now I have I have a axe that also grinds and does.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, I don't know if we need to go that far. It was cute and fun to see Frank combine shit in the mall and go for it. And then up here, it's already gone. But Greg's going to say all these paragraphs just to say, take away the timer. No, I think lean into the timer, but make it part of the gaming experience where I don't feel like I'm missing something. I feel like I'm making choices. Okay. I would point you to Hell Is Us this year, where when I doubled back to go do quests and it was like, oh, there was a timer on these I didn't even know. So now this woman is here mourning the child that died because I didn't bring milk. That's fucking cool, right? Like, let's have a bunch of cool side quests that are like, oh, this could expire if you don't do it or whatever. But like, make me have to make choices and have really fun, cool outcomes rather than, oh, you failed. Like, well, okay, I just failed. This isn't exciting. This didn't push the B horror movie somewhere else with it, right? Like, I would have it be that, like, if for every mission you can fail, when you come back, there should be either environmental storytelling or a cutscene, B horror movie of, oh, shit happened here. It is the person I was trying to save ripped in half, torn apart. They're here to fight me. They've now become a boss. You know what I mean? Like, if I'm not getting to them, this is what's happening, and it's actually influencing what it is. And so I can go and I can save Cindy and bring her here, and now she can generate medicine or make my weapon stronger. But if I didn't save Cindy and I get there, she's now turned into a grotesque zombie that then is harder for me to fight, and yada yada. And I don't have those buffs back home.
Okay, I want to play that game.
Thank you.
That game you just pitched. I want to play that.
Yeah, I think I think a lot of, we talk about video games all the time, and we talk about, scope creep and them getting too big. I think people need, especially where we're at right now, need to get real with bringing games into tighter experiences and having them have more of those kind of switches.
Yeah.
Because I think that would encourage me to go. Part of the problem with Dead Rising 1 and like, I'm going to go get the zombie genocide trophy was that it almost felt like open world because it was a big mall full of different things to go do. But if you were making a more, hey, this is a tight experience with different choices to go through, that could be really fun to go see what all does.
Yeah, there's
Upgrade says some sort of nemesis system.
Oh, that'd
cool
be
too.
I mean, you put that in any game.
Yeah.
There's I believe it was Warren Spector who talked about the idea of like the one city block RPG, where it's instead of going for that scope of open world, if you can make it an RPG that takes place on one city block, how much depth, how much richness can you fill in there to really make the experience? And some of my favorite games are that, right? Disco Elysium kind of has that. It's like, that's a few city blocks, but that Forgotten City is another one as well. Like, you can make a small space feel gigantic with how much richness you put into it. So.
And I think, we look at some great games. There's a lot of embargoes floating around. You go back to the same places over many hours, right? I always talk about in high school when I wrote that, I had read none of the books I needed to for this essay we needed to write. So I did Ocarina of Time outside the Temple of Time, right, in original timeline versus the future timeline, and how compare contrast what that was like making me feel like I know a city or an area and then shifting it is always powerful.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
I love that stuff.
You know what's powerful for us? You getting your Kinda Funny membership over on patreon.com/kindafunny, youtube.com/kindafunnygames, Apple or Spotify. You toss us 10 big ones. What they call it, bucks? I don't know. I know, of course, we give you 80 episodes of ad-free content, daily podcasts from me, and good karma for supporting a small independent dream. But right now, you're not using your benefits, so here's a word from our sponsors.
The wait is over. Solo Leveling Arise Overdrive, the action RPG based on the popular solo leveling franchise, is now available on Steam. As I previously mentioned, I'm a huge solo leveling fan, and this game comes at the perfect time as everyone is patiently waiting for the next season of the anime. But now I can dive into this world and feel what it's like to actually be Sung Jin-woo as he continues to fight to become the strongest hunter. And I can even join up to 3 friends for some co-op raids to defeat incredible bosses and see who really is the best. If you don't know the story, players will work their way up as Sung Jin-woo, an E-rank nobody that no one wants in their raiding party, clawing their way up to becoming the powerful Shadow Monarch. Players can create their own version of Sung Jin-woo, customizing playstyles, skills, and even appearance, so you can create your own ideal version who really stands out from the crowd. Solo Leveling Arise Overdrive is available now on Steam, so get ready to experience Sung Jin-woo's next adventure.
This episode's brought to you by Sundays for Dogs. When it comes to dog food, it seems like you have to make a choice. You can either have fresh and healthy, or you can have easy to store and serve, but never both. But you don't have to choose anymore, thanks to Sundays. Unlike other fresh dog food, Sundays does not require thawing, refrigeration, or preparation because of their air drying process. You just pour and serve, that's it. Sundays is fresh, air-dried dog food made from clean ingredients. Recipes are customized based on the needs of your dog, its size, breed, allergies, activity levels, and more. If it's not 100% all-natural meat and superfoods with 0% synthetic nutrients or artificial ingredients, then it's not Sundays. Thousands of dog parents have made the switch and reported pups with more energy, better poops, softer fur, and fresher breath. Moose and Toretto have been loving their Sundays, and I love seeing them so happy. Make the switch to Sundays. Go right now to sundaysfordogs.com/kindafunny and get 50% off your first order, or you can use code kindafunny at checkout. That's 50% off your first order at sundaysfordogs.com/kindafunny, sundaysfordogs.com/kindafunny, or use code kindafunny at checkout. This episode's brought to you by Aura Frames. If you are a last-minute shopper, don't worry at all. I have the perfect gift to solve all of your problems. No lie, Aura Frames are undeniably the best gift I've ever given, and I'm going to be sad when I run out of people to give it to because I'll never gift a gift this great again. Families, friends, partners, everyone loves being able to have beautiful frames showing off their loved ones and cherished memories. Multiple people at Kinda Funny have Aura Frames on their desks, and it's always a treat to walk by and see what fun memory is there. Plus, you can order the frame online and preload it with photos and videos using the Aura app, so it's ready to go right out of the box. There's unlimited storage, so you can add as many photos and videos as you like. Just download the Aura app and connect to Wi-Fi with no hidden fees. For a limited time, save on the perfect gift by visiting auraframes.com to get $35 off Aura's best-selling carver mat frames, named #1 by Wirecutter by using promo code KINDAFUNNY at checkout. That's auraframes.com, promo code KINDAFUNNY. This deal is exclusive to listeners, and the frames sell out fast, so order yours now to get it in time for the holidays. Support the show by mentioning us at checkout. Terms and conditions apply.
I was uploading things to my Aura frame because I saw the ad. Blessings doing Wordle. How's it going?
I just did it.
God,
it took me 5 guesses, though.
What? Oh, you never like to see that. You never like to hear.
Yeah.
I'm so glad you did it, though.
Thank you.
Let's move on to some super chats we got in here before we get too far away from the Dead Rising news. Clawmaster said, I would argue Capcom is now a lot better about making games than Capcom when Dead Rising came out. I would agree. I think Capcom's on a great trend right now, and they have revitalized IPs that were dormant, and I think that maybe had a few jump the shark moments. So yeah, no, that's a good point, and I would be excited.
Yeah, when was the last time Capcom truly missed? I mean, we could say Exoprimal, but even
that's honestly
was
what came up to my mind.
Yeah, but even that game was like not bad.
Science Dog Official says, does the world even want another zombie game? Yes. Are zombies as big as they ever were? No, but I mean, there's part of pop culture now. I don't know if you're gonna get whatever, but like zombies still fuck. If the game is great, it doesn't matter that it's zombies. It's more when like if somebody's gonna come out and be like, this game is great because of zombies, then you're fucked. Then you're never gonna have anything. Snake Eater says, I like Greg's idea, but I think that's what I want from State of Decay 3, not Dead Rising. I hear you.
Oh, I forgot that game. What's happening?
I fucking can't wait to see what State of Decay 3 is because I love State of Decay 1 so much, but like I don't expect that from State of Decay either. It's such a resources and people thing, but I hear what you're saying. And that's good. So, moving on to story number 3. Exodus is getting a new trailer at the Game Awards. We have a BS, that's a blue sky, Tim, and the previous trailer. Exodus BS, that's blue skying, Tim. This is your call to rise. A new Exodus trailer premieres at the Game Awards December 11th. Don't miss it. Synchronize your timepiece at GameAwards.com.
In case you forgot about Exodus.
Thank you, because I have no fucking idea what this is.
I added it here below, but the screenshot, I think, pushes it all the way down so you don't see it. Exodus. Yeah.
Thank you.
It comes with the Steam description. Exodus is a sci-fi action-adventure RPG where you become the Traveler, leading humanity's fight for survival against the Celestials, face our evolution 40,000 years in the future, explore extraordinary worlds, and confront time itself to shape the fate of generations. It's developed by Archetype Entertainment, a studio founded by former BioWare developers James Olin, Chad Robertson, and Drew Karpshin, and it's published by Wizards of the Coast. So a Mass Effect.
That sounds fucking awesome. I do remember it now that we're this. The trailer still looks, I'm going to say it generic, what I'm seeing. But I love everything you're saying. So maybe when I get on sticks or see more from it, I'd be like, well,
what's his name? All right. That guy.
Matthew McConaughey.
Yeah, he introduced it, right?
Oh, this was the game he introduced?
Was this the game he introduced?
All right.
I'm pretty sure this was the one. And also, I'm pretty sure
that bear up. Yeah.
This also got a secret level episode. And so,
oh my God.
This game has been heavily...
secret level?
Dude, this game has been heavily marketed until now, which has me... I don't know how I feel about it yet. Like, I mean, obviously, it's like I want to see previews for it, but
what was that PlayStation game that got like canceled essentially after a month?
Concord.
Didn't Concord also get a secret level episode?
Yeah. They bit big on that one.
But like, also, the world was wrong about Concord. That game was at least.
I mean, again,
that game was at least a 6.5.
The thing about looking at this with the description, awesome. The pedigree, awesome. The combat and like the stealth thing and whatever, like, looks awesome. It's just then you look at this looks. I don't see a lot of personality from what I'm seeing, but I don't. If the game plays great, I think
it's the exact same thing you mentioned with zombies, where your game can't be great because of zombies. Your game can't be great because it looks like Mass Effect.
Yeah.
What is the thing that is ascending you to greatness? Is it Matthew McConaughey?
We'll find out.
All right.
Game over. All right. Hey, Jeff, I brought you this. Murph! Number 4, Epic details Fortnite Chapter 7 gameplay changes, including simple build and self-revive. This is Chris Scullion at VGC. Fortnite Chapter 7 is now launched, and with it brings a number of new gameplay changes. Epic Games has listed the new additions to the game, as well as the final confirmation that the Battle Pass for this first season includes the Bride from Kill Bill and Marty McFly from Back to the Future. Because of the opening trailer for Chapter 7 showed the battle bus being destroyed, players now have to surf to the Battle Royale Island. In other modes, such as Reload, Blitz Royale, Fortnite OG, and Delulu will arrive later in December once the battle bus is back in commission. Other new features include more expressive hit markers, weapons in inventory now clearly display when they're out of ammo, aiming down the sights while jumping. Characters won't turn hostile so quickly when shot. Improved spectator mode. When you're eliminated, you'll now be able to spectate your nearest teammate. Emote wheel overhaul with 8 slots. Improved sorting and filtering. A new collections view. In more Fortnite news, Yuki's Revenge premieres in Fortnite on November 30th at 2 p.m. Wait, that already happened.
Oh, November 30th did already happen. Holy shit. Time flies. Goddamn.
If you missed it, visionary director Quentin Tarantino had a dream of a Kill Bill chapter that never made it to the silver screen, a chapter known as Yuki's Revenge. Over 20 years later, Tarantino and Epic have come together to bring the story to life in Fortnite, built with Unreal Engine and character models from Fortnite. Tarantino's The Lost Chapter, Yuki's Revenge, stars Uma Thurman. Yuki's Revenge premieres in Fortnite on November 30th, so you can go watch it now. You'll be able to find it in the top row of Discover. Doors for the viewing experience open 30 minutes before the show starts.
Of course, want you to talk about this because he went to LA for an event related to this.
That's correct.
I just want to shout out that the other day during the weekend, I watched Sancho West play through the big Fortnite event, and it was him and Nick A30. And when I tell you that this shit seemed like the hypest shit I've ever seen in my life, but also I think my brain, and I'll even say our collective brains, have been so rotted because, like, if I'd shown myself some of the shit that was going down in this Fortnite thing to myself like 10 years ago, I would have been like, yo, this is crazy. He's playing as Cody Rhodes, and Iron Man fucking shows up, and a Banana Man comes through and saves the day, and then fucking like Eminem shows up, and then all, like, just every pop culture thing. Like, Superman is hanging out with Iron Man in this thing.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
100%.
Bart Simpson comes through.
Fortnite's outrageous. Fortnite has been insane for a long time.
And then they made a 6-7 joke.
Yeah.
Did you watch it?
No, I saw the clips from it and whatever. And I obviously I've seen Yuki's Revenge when I went down to LA. Saw it. I was sat behind Joel McHale. No big deal. Don't worry about that.
Wow.
Yeah, thank you.
Wow.
Sat next to Sancho West.
Oh.
Saw Uma Thurman and Quentin Tarantino with my own eyes. They were there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's cool.
And then watch this in the theater. Yeah, chat, what do we think of Yuki's Revenge? Give me a 1 if you liked it, a 2 if you didn't like it. I was interested to see what the reaction would be to it. I told you about it.
Have you seen the tweets about it?
No.
The tweets I've seen, people aren't happy.
They are not happy?
They are not happy.
Yeah, I was shocker, right? When I came back and told you about it, I was like, I don't know how this will hit, because it's like such a cool idea, obviously, of like, oh, there's a thing that never happened, and so now they're doing it. All right. And then when they started it and the Fortnite character started appearing in it, I was like, oh, this isn't just a film they're watching in Fortnite. This is happening in the Fortnite universe. And it was like, can you imagine being a Quentin Tarantino diehard fan? I think
bro.
he is.
You love Kill
I'm
Bill.
a cinephile, and they're giving us more. And you go to this thing called Fortnite, and you turn it on, and there's a fucking banana with a shotgun that Uma Thurman tells to go back in the house, and then she gets shot, and you shot me in the breast, you bitch. And they're like, okay, and there's a fucking there, but then they're bleeding blue, and then when she dies, she gets rezzed out like in Fortnite, and I was like, there's a lot of cool stuff, but there's this mashup again of pop culture of what you know is Kill Bill and Quentin Tarantino slamming into here we are with Fortnite. I was like,
like, you were describing it to me the other day after you came back from the event. I think I even said this sounds terrible. And like in the way of like, as a video game fan, it seems cool because, oh damn, all right, you're merging these worlds. We're getting this long lost Tarantino thing. In the form of like that sounds cool, but the context of it being, again, like if you're a film bro that loves Kill Bill and you've heard about the legend, like I imagine it of if I finally got Detox, but it came out in Fortnite. You know what I mean? Do you know Detox? Like the Dr. Dre album that never came out that you know is like kind of legendary now. If I got thank you. If I got that, but it was like a Fortnite thing, I would be like, what the fuck are we? I would be so fucking angry. And I imagine that's just the same thing, but with these film bros.
Yeah.
But also, like,
there's
a level of neatness to it.
Exactly. Like, I liked Kill Bill. I love Quentin Tarantino movies for the most part. You know what I mean? I'm gonna watch it over and over and over and over again. But at a way too young age, I had Pulp Fiction's screenplay, like as a book that I would read over and over again because I like that movie so much. Should not have been that was like junior high or whatever. Anyway, it doesn't matter. So there's no idol here or golden cow for me to be upset that they're slaughtering, but it was just like an interesting, okay. Like it's the coolness of like Uma Thurman got to go back and be the bride again. Like she's obviously, you couldn't go film that unless you're making a new movie. You couldn't go film that like scene and put it in, right? So it's nice that this exists that way because of it. But it is like, just like, okay. For the random people that are trying to get in who are Kill Bill fans, I can't imagine this going well.
Victor in chat made a really good point earlier where they said, you got new Dr. Dre songs in GTA, and that we did. And I fucking loved it. There was like a song in there featuring Eminem too. Oh man. But you know what? Maybe I'm just judging because it's Fortnite. Maybe that's what it is.
Fortnite's, I mean, a powerhouse, incredible. You know what I mean? And again, when I was sitting there playing, I played this stuff. Obviously, you can play it now, but I played it at the event there. And when I was, you know that I'm a huge Back to the Future fan. So when I was Marty McFly surfing to the island, shooting all these guys, like, this is weird, but cool, but it's Fortnite at this point. Yeah, where to your point, like, I turn it on and I've got Ghostbusters next to Superman next. It's just the toy box of your youth digitized with AKs.
They got to put that on the back of the box.
Yeah.
The toy box of your youth digitized.
I was more interested of what the Fortnite parents would think about Kill Bill being in the game and they're cussing and doing all the stuff.
Do they brand it under because I saw something about Fortnite After Dark or After Hours or something?
Yeah.
Is it a separate?
It was on the launcher. They said right for you to go watch it. So I don't. They can brand it whatever they want, but was there gatekeeping at the thing? Or, I don't know.
I mean, Fortnite.
You have to show Fortnite your ID now.
They're also tweeting about sex toys, so
I hear
Fortnite
you.
doesn't care.
I hear you. I know. It's the same thing of I worry more about the guns than I do the sex stuff, but I know we're back and forth on that in terms of a world. But that was my thing when they dropped Huntrix in there and they had the Demon Slayers,
K-pop Demon Hunters.
Yeah, Demon Hunters in there. Thank you, Jesus Christ. I'm going to sound older on that one. But Ben and I loved that film, so when he saw it on the PlayStation Crossbar, I launched it. And I went and I was like, oh, $30. We can't buy the skins, Ben, but we jumped into the game and I was like, oh, real quick, that mode, to survive the demons. I thought they were going to give us the K-pop melee weapons, which they do, but you're very much encouraged to pick up the weapons. And so that was when I was like, we did one round and Ben's like, can we play again? And I didn't let him pick anything up. I'm like, no, buddy, this isn't adult. And he had a whole thing. And I'm like, Ben, this is an adult game. I don't, my thing is I don't want him picking up an M4 and mowing people down now. He doesn't. He thinks Spider-Man's the most powerful guy in the world because of Thwippin. He doesn't need to be doing this. I digress. Number 5 on the Roper Report, Paradox takes the blame for Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2 sales flop, announces a $37 million write-down. This is the one, the only WYP at IGN. That's Wesley Yin Poole at the Imagine Games Network. Publisher Paradox Interactive has today taken the blame for the poor sales of Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2. The long-in-development sequel launched in October and was met with a mixed Steam user review response, with fans saying it failed to meet expectations they had to the sequel to Troika's 2004 cult classic Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines. Now, after 30 days on sale, Paradox has issued a note to financial markets signaling a write-down valued at approximately $37 million of capitalized development costs for Bloodlines 2. This write-down, Paradox said, was based on an updated sales forecast. Now it has had a month to look at Bloodlines' commercial performance. I think we're missing that, but it doesn't matter. The CEO of Paradox Interactive said the blame for Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2 failure lay at the publisher's door and not that of the Chinese room, which had been drafted to save the project after years of development hell. Quote, Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2 is a strong vampire fantasy, and we are pleased with the developers' work on the game, the CEO said. We've had high expectations for a long time, since we saw that it was a good game with a strong IP in a genre with a broad appeal. A month after release, we can sadly see that sales did not match our projections, which necessitates the write-down. The responsibility lies fully with us as the publisher. The game is outside of our core areas. In hindsight, it is clear that this has made it difficult for us to gauge sales. Going forward, we will focus our capital on our core segments, and at the same time, we'll evaluate how to best develop World of Darkness's strong brand catalog in the future, end quote.
Greg, you played some of that Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines.
Bloodlines is for us kind of funny for Greg Miller and for you, the viewer of listening to me talk about games you'll never play. It is a casualty of the bloodbath of how the review codes and reviews this year have been. Where it dropped, and I don't even remember anymore. It dropped. I think I had the code, and I had it for 2 days, and then it was Pokemon, and then it was whatever I reviewed after Pokemon. It was ba 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 ba, to the point that I have not gotten back from that initial 4 or 5 hours I put into it or whatever. And as I told you playing it, I kept popping my earphones off and bugging you because I like to bug you once in a while with a thought. And I'm like, listen, this is like a PS3 RPG, but it's got something. And even to this day, I am eventually there will be a gap, probably in 2026, where I won't be inundated with reviews as we end this. And then, of course, Game of the Year coverage. I got to get back to X, Y, and Z and try X, Y, and Z. When that happens, I'm going back to Bloodlines and starting a new thing. Because it is very double A. Yeah. It is this is not a 10 out of 10. I think IGN gave it a 7, and I'm from the 5 hours I played of it, I'm feeling that, where it's there are so many rough edges, but then there is so much to love about it, of luring people down alleyways and then sucking their blood to get the thing that you need to level yourself up. This whole thing of at least my character that I was building into, of gliding and flying around the city, and it's not a big open world Seattle, but there is this open thing, but then you got a voice in your head, and there's a bunch of weird. They went into that boardroom and put these ideas on the wall. And I don't think, from what I played, I wouldn't say 9 out of 10 of them are fleshed out, but like they're all interesting enough that I am compelled to go back and play this.
It's such a fascinating thing because obviously we are, as people who play video games, as people who really love playing video games and love good video games, what I feel like I oftentimes desire are games that are willing to come out and try something different or weird or be fresh or do whatever.
We have a vision.
Yeah, like we have a vision, and like a lot of people are going right, we're going left with it. And like this year has been the year of the games going left with it, right? Like it's been a year of weird games, and I fucking love this year for that. But what stands out is the part in this quote from the CEO who says it was a good game with a strong IP in a genre with a broad appeal. And
people love vampires.
People love vampires, but I guess I read genre with a broad appeal is like action RPG style thing, right? Okay. And to that I'd say that's not the direction to go then. Like if you're trying to be successful, if you're trying to sell a bunch of units right now, like if you want to be a action adventure RPG game, you got to be God of War. You know what I mean? Like you have to. I feel like there is a top tier of that genre of game, and then everything under is fighting each other, and like it's really tough to ascend because everything in that genre specifically, I think, is risen. Like money has been thrown into that in a way where I think the AA gets really lost, and I want to see that get figured out. I'm really fascinated with Don't Nod, because Don't Nod keeps making these like AA action RPG style things, and like their next one is like a space action adventure thing that looks really cool, kind of NASA style to it. Yeah. Or the European one,
European Space Agency.
European Space Agency. That to me is like really interesting and really fascinating, and they're going left, and I fucking love that. But also I get scared because I'm like, is there success to be found here on a broad scale?
I think it goes back to what we were talking about throughout this episode of our zombies played out. Is this just like you can't just look like something or be like something, right?
Yeah.
I think even with Bloodlines here, like one of the things that is compelling to me, but clearly not to everybody, and granted, we are awash right now in 9 out of 10 games that are like, this could be game of the year if you wanted. Like everyone is so busy. Do you have time for a 7 out of 10 RPG? You know what I mean? Like I think I will eventually. And one of the reasons I'm going to go to it is like, cool, I don't need another space RPG. I don't need another fantasy, high fantasy RPG.
Yeah.
A vampire RPG, and like where you wake up, you're this vampire who wakes up after sleeping 100 years, and like you have this legend to you, and like this voice in your head, and you're in modern day Seattle. Like there's enough interesting new stuff happening there where I'm like, I do want to play that. I do want to go see what's up. And like they were really great. Maybe, and again, I think it's one of the things they didn't flesh out well, but like, Game Informer, of course, is back. Congratulations, Game Informer. We love having you. And over the summer, one of their cover stories was this game. And reading it and reading all the breakdowns of and this is definitely why it feels like a game out of time, an older game, reading all these like detailed breakdowns of the factions and what they all are, and then playing the game, you're like, oh, like, you don't need that much information about it. Like, I really did go into like reading, like, as most, preview coverage can be, the marketing materials for this game, but it gave me a sense of what you're trying to do here in the world. And like you interact then with these factions in the game, and they all have their own vibe and their own style and like the way they talk and what they do. And I don't think that's going to be fleshed out and very meaningful later on, but like for the guy who like, I would go play Starfield right now. On the Starfield subreddit, the no sodium Starfield subreddit.
Yeah. The happy people.
They had these one group of creators was advertising on Friday their creation drops, and it's like a new main quest, 3 new side things, a new companion with like 400 lines of dialogue. Like I'm like, damn, that sounds fucking cool. Like it's just more Starfield, but I would also love to go play this and just do a new RPG as a vampire.
Yeah, which I totally fuck with, and I think there are definitely going to be the Greg Millers of the world that see a Vampire the Masquerade 2 and Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2, because obviously there's that built-in audience in the first one, and then people like you that are like, oh, this seems really cool. I think my thing when we're talking about games that have a vision, games that this had a whiteboard, this had a pitch here, right? I think this year I look at the blueprints and I look at even Citizen Sleeper that I started last night in the first hour. I'm already like, oh, damn, I'm liking this. And I think a big part of that, and what I think a Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2 has less going for it, is that they cut out the fat of like the things that you're then now competing with when you're talking about action and adventure. Okay, well, Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2 is in competition with all these other things, right? It's like, okay, this and Ghost of Yotei and, you know, all these other, like Dying Light the Beast and all these other things, right? I think there's something to be said about genres where it is. Citizen Sleeper 2 right now is hidden for me because it's not feeling like these other things, right? Blueprint hit for me because it's not the Death Stranding 2, even though that's not a AAA action adventure game, it's still so weird of a thing that I'm not, and maybe this is me speaking as somebody who reviews video games all the time, and so I'm just fatigued a lot by shit that feels like it's doing the same thing all the time. Yeah, because like I look at Ghost of Yotei as the example as well, where Ghost of Yotei is a great video game, right? I'll even go as far as say maybe even a fantastic video game, but my experience with it felt very much fine because I've played this game over and over and over and over again. And so like if I'm feeling that way about Ghost of Yotei, I'm not gonna feel playing Vampire the 100% Bloodlines 2.
Exactly, exactly. Because I think you bump into so many walls in Vampire where you're like, okay, this is an open zone RPG. It's mimicking a Bethesda game. It's mimicking better games, Baldur, but it's like you run into the seams and the walls of that so quickly. We're like, oh, you guys aren't those guys.
Yeah,
you don't have the sauce like that. There's a very specific thing where I needed to interrogate a woman who was in the back who had been convinced she was a vampire. Again, really fun writing in here, right? She fully believed though she was a vampire, even though she was very much human. And so I'm using the vampire powers to make her see what a person that she would then talk to. And I was like, okay, cool. And I go in there and it was like, then I'm convinced her I'm somebody else. 4 dialogue choices pop up. Only one of them's the right one I hit the one, it was wrong. I get kicked out. I'm like, okay, fuck. Repossess her. Go in there, hit the other one. That was wrong. And like, it was like, man, it'd be way cooler if I did this and couldn't use this power again. And maybe if this is like a tutorial, so maybe that would happen later on, and I don't know. But it was like, this is reminding me you don't got the stuff. Of like, this should be branching me off and fucking me, and I should fail this quest, or something should happen, or somebody else has to come in to tell me, rather than me sit here and go, wrong, right, and then there was another branch, and it was wrong, right, fine, fuck. You know what I mean? But every time I have to go back in and do all the steps again to get back.
If you want a good vampire role-playing game that feels like it has consequences, that feels also kind of what we were talking about earlier, of like a kind of small community type of vibe, Vampire. It's vampire, but
I remember that one. Who was that too? Was that Don't Nod?
That was Don't Nod.
Yeah, it was Don't Nod.
Yeah, Don't Nod. They're on it.
I played Vampire for a few hours, and same way I did here, and I like this one more in terms of what the setting is and where we're going. But this just wasn't my jam. Whatever. Anyways, though, I digress. When we get a vampire open world RPG that's just fucking awesome, that's gonna be huge news. But if I wanted something small, say the tiniest news I need to know about, where would I go?
You'd go to our last story, the Wii News channel, where we cover all the small news items you need to know about. Have you heard of Banisher's Ghosts of New? No, not that one.
Because that's the one I reviewed with you on the couch where I told you about it. Yeah.
There's a Bandai Namco upcoming vampire open world RPG that's coming from, I believe, people that worked on The Witcher 3.
No shit, really?
Yeah, and they did like a 20-minute breakdown of it quite a few months ago. But that might be up your alley.
Sure.
Somebody in Blood of the Dawnwalker.
Okay, can you give me a Blood of the Dawnwalker trailer? Wii News, number 6. PS5 roguelike Let It Die Inferno used a crap load of generative AI. I'm going to read a little bit from Sammy Barker over at Push Square. We're not sure there was an enormous amount of interest in upcoming roguelike Let It Die Inferno anyway, but publisher Gung Ho Interactive may have torpedoed interest in the game with its latest Steam page update. Valve now requires developers to disclose whether the game uses generative AI, and in the case of the aforementioned, it may be more useful to describe what parts were actually made by a human. Quote, AI-generated content has been used and then edited by our team for certain parts of the in-game voices, music, and graphics, the disclaimer reads. Among the assets created by AI are background signboard textures, record illustrations, infocast videos, and voices and music, end quote. The game was developed by SuperChats, a company based in Japan, which also worked on the original Let It Die game. We throw up a BS from Jacob Geller. I still listen to tracks from Let It Die, literally the only memorable thing about the game. If you're so intent on skipping anything interesting about development, why not just skip 3 months after release and delist your game now?
I don't want to hear Let It Die slander, at least for the original one.
For the original one? Okay,
that shit was
fair. You and Shuhei loved
Me and Shuhei loved Let It Die.
From VGC, Nintendo has announced plans to acquire Bandai Namco's Singapore studio and rename it Nintendo Studios Singapore. According to Nintendo, the studio has, quote, strong expertise in creating in-game art assets, which implies it will mainly continue to be support studio once Nintendo acquires it. From GamesIndustry.biz, Splash Damage has announced a consultation process affecting all staff at the Bromley-based studio, which will conclude with significant redundancies. Quote, This is an unfortunate but necessary step for the studio to stay nimble in a challenging and evolving market. I love just the same fucking soundbite all the time.
Staying nimble.
The company said in a statement provided to GamesIndustries.biz. From Wario 64, Embracer Group divests Arc Games and Cryptic Studios. Embracer Group retains publishing rights to the Remnant franchise. Rights for Fellowship retained under Coffee Stain. See you later, Embracer. Just divest everything. Get out of it. New games are coming to Nintendo Online. NES is getting Ninja Gaiden 2, The Dark Sword of Chaos, and Battletoads. Game Boy is getting Kid Icarus of Myths and Monsters and Bionic Commando. World of Warcraft Midnight launches March 26th, 2026. Cyberpunk 2077 has sold 35 million copies. Where Winds Meets surpassed 9 million players in 2 weeks. Chronos The New Dawn has sold 500,000 copies. A demo for There Are No Ghosts at the Grand is now live on Steam. And Styx Blades of Greed has been delayed to February 19th, 2026. This is the Dawn Walker. Oh, I remember this. Yeah. We never released date on this though, do we?
I don't believe we do. We might have a year though. Because I remember they showed a lot.
Yeah.
I remember I watched like a full 20-minute gameplay walkthrough of this game. And honestly, it doesn't look like my jam per se, but like if you're somebody who's in the market for some vampire RPG shit, then it's one to keep on the radar.
The Blood of the Dawnwalker is an open world dark fantasy or action RPG set in 14th century Europe. You play as Cohen, human by day, vampire by night, fighting to save your family in a story shaped by your actions and secrets you uncover. Yes, please, added to wish list.
It gives me a little bit of that AA energy.
Oh yeah,
like AA.5 maybe.
But that's where the interesting shit's gonna happen.
That is true. You're right.
These AAA RPGs, and I'm talking about Bethesda, and are the ones that are just like, I like them and I enjoy the Outer Worlds 2 even.
Yeah.
Where it's like I like this and I love this game. But like I'm not like, wow, you really shook up the genre.
And is there any AAA vampire RPG right now?
Somebody's screaming somewhere, but I don't think I know of.
I mean, I guess Bloodlines 2 was that AAA?
No, that wasn't AAA.
I don't.
No.
Can I be honest? I don't know the line anymore between like AA and AAA.
AAA, I think, comes down to your budget and team size, and
I feel like the ceiling for AAA has like risen so substantially that there's a new AAA now.
Oh, interesting.
I mean, I look at
quadruple A.
Okay.
I think I keep saying God of War this episode, but like a God of War or a Last of Us or like a Doom the Dark Ages. Like there's like so much production behind
Yeah.
I feel like that's AAA.
Interesting. Yeah.
But like a lot of the games that we call
The problem is for so long, remember that AA fell away, and so it was indie or AAA.
Yeah.
And now I agree that AAA is expanding out so
it's
much.
gotten so expensive.
Yeah.
But I think AA might be rising as well too.
Huh.
But I also don't know if it matters.
It doesn't really, but we talk about games every day, so why not? And that's the end of Wii News.
Like, do we call, not to extend this episode too long, do we call Pokemon Legends Zeta A AAA or AA?
That is a AAA.
That's
game.
AAA.
It's AAA by like brand or whatever,
And
right?
marketing budget. Probably budget for the game as well.
And, yeah, budget for the game. Just because it looks like.
I don't know if the budget for the game is comparable to like what we're talking about with these huge games. For Pokemon Zeta A,
I think it is.
I think the budget came out for that game and it was way lower than like a lot of these other games. But I might be wrong. Like it probably isn't as low as a Banishers Ghost of New Eden.
Let's do some super chats. Joey Radstone says, happy Monday, kind of funny. New dad tax. My baby daughter was born on Thanksgiving and we're watching our first kind of funny stream together. Hello, baby Radstone. Congratulations and welcome to the world. Ty says, day one of my 21-day vacation. Can't complain. It's interesting.
Nice.
Fuck yeah.
But you're working on Christmas then. Interesting. Mediocre Gamer says, paying my birthday tax, turning 41 today. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Danester says, bless. I got into buying and playing Magic the Gathering this weekend. Loving it a lot. Is your collection mostly for play, or do you have any valuable collection booster pulls that you cherish?
It's mostly for play. I do have some collector stuff, but that's not what I'm in the game for. I'm in the game for the game. I do have like a small binder that I keep the coolest of my cards, and I have some of the secret layer PlayStation cards that came in. I have like a cool like Ellie and Abby, and I got Kratos, but I put Kratos in my commander because he's powerful.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Jack Kuraba says, birthday tax. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Going to a meet and greet with Jack Quaid. I'm pretty nervous. How should I break the ice with him? Any photo pose ideas? Well, tell him you're a kind of funny best friend and you love when he calls into the shows or we harass him. And then I would say even like talk to him about his video game photography.
Yeah.
Because everybody's going to want to talk about The Boys or Scream or something. You come in there, you're like, hey, I saw you on Kind of Funny.
Yeah.
I like what you're doing.
So you're taking pictures in Ghost of Yote.
Yeah. And any pose ideas? Choose your favorite Jack Quaid photo he's done, and then do the pose that they did in that. War Table Entertainment Gaming. This has a long title that keeps going to 9928. Paying my birthday tax, turning 31 today. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. A lot of birthdays today.
Yep. Thanks so much for being an inspiration, for being there through the hard times. We're happy to be there for you. Sean Callahan, birthday tax, turned over 40 this weekend. Happy birthday. You guys got me through the pandemic, and I owe you big time. As a girl dad, send my support to Tim. As a doctor, send my condolences to Snowbike Mike. We thank you. We appreciate you. Roscoe February says, I turned 35 on Thanksgiving Day, so belated birthday tax. Happy birthday. Sending y'all holiday cheer from Cape Town, South Africa. Missed the content. Hope you had a good break. We did. I hope you had a lovely time in Cape Town, South Africa for your birthday.
Cool.
Hater John says, y'all thinking about a Gamescast for older games you played in 2025? I know Mike really enjoyed Final Fantasy X this year. It'd be cool to hear from others. No. Science...
I know we usually do them well in real time, right? Because Mike did the Final Fantasy X review. Mike just did his Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 review. I reviewed Outer Wilds when that came out, or when I played that in like February. So,
Science Dog official super chat says, messing mashup idea: Metal Gear Dead Rising Revengeance.
Well, now I can't use it.
It's also I don't like it when you put the one game in the middle of another game. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah,
Metal
no, that's
Gear
not how that
Dead
works.
Rising I think would work, but then to bring back that, I guess
no, that doesn't work. Yeah.
Christmas. Oh, sorry. Dexter says Christmas gift ideas. Bless. Watch Lord of the Rings theatrical versions with Andy. Greg, give Tim back his stars that you stole from him. I didn't steal anything.
It was a fair trade. Yeah.
As
Tim
our
knew what he was
said.
signing up for.
Exactly.
I better not see any of my coworkers during Christmas break, except for Greg on Christmas.
Hell yeah. Christmas Eve. Come on. French dips.
Yeah.
Mr. Hawk says filling out applications and gearing up for Burning Springs. There's never been a better time to jump into Fallout 76. Remember, Mr. Hawks is joining us tomorrow to stream Fallout 76 with us, where Walton Goggins will give us our bounties.
Nice.
Marsh Hero says, got my Aura frame using code Kinda Funny. Let's fucking go. I love my Aura frame. Goddamn.
I love mine too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got one in my room.
And then final one is Mr. Nice Guy Rye. Greg, I am absolutely loving Luminous Arise, but holy cow, those expert challenges are stopping me from scoring the platinum. Also, Ball Pit is addicting. 2 great games in a year full of great games. Everybody should be playing Luminous. And don't be like filthy Imran Khan saying, Tetris is still.
Nah, you go back to Tetris Effect.
Shut up.
I mean, you can play both, guys.
Push the buttons, Barrett.
Honestly,
Push
like
the
before
fucking
you
buttons,
even
Barrett.
get to the Luminous Arise, just fucking play Puyo Tetris.
Puyo. No, this is Puyo. Get out of here.
Yeah, just do that.
I never
It's
played
got
Puyo
taste. You don't
Tetris.
know.
Luminous.
Is that good?
It's fine.
Would I
It
like
was solid.
It's fine.
Yeah.
I mean, Luminous is great though.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Shut up, Barrett.
solid.
Erica Van C says the Analog 3D is $270. Currently, the EverDrive 64 cartridge does not work with the Analog 3D, at least not out of the box. There's some other shit about it. There's other, you can make it work, but there's work.
Yeah.
Kebabs comes in and says, to be clear, I had one of my worst celiac incidents this weekend that had me writhing and unable to eat or drink anything for 3 days. But okay, fuck me, Greg, for belly aching about my belly aching. I'm just saying you're not giving enough information. You got to say all that in the thing. And did you ever think maybe that happened to you, Kebabs, because you're so mean to me? Did you ever think God and or Satan was punishing you for not being on my side in the arguments here on the show? Every day you come in here, you start shit with me. Then you got to tell me, hey, you know what I mean? That's God or Satan saying, be nice to Greg. I'm just calling it.
Put down the bread.
Put down. Oh, my God. Big Bad Beluga says, Resonance is the Remedyverse. Oh, in the Remedyverse is the core energy that comes from all the objects of power, like an extra dimensional sound people hear but aren't aware of. It's what turns people into the hiss and blah, blah, blah.
Over the course of the show, Control Resonance has grown on me as a title for the sequel.
I'm not gonna bother getting into that. Yeah, okay. Poke Money says, sorry, nobody is wrong, but Bless is right about ZA's budget. It was $13 million, which is basically nothing compared to AAA games.
Yeah.
Oh, and then Kebabs comes back in. Apparently, Belly feels fine enough to keep yelling. The EverDrive 64 was patched to work with Analog 3D, so apparently then it is okay. But again, what are we talking about anymore? You know what I mean?
What are we talking
6-7.
6-7. I can also just play. I was thinking about this as I was playing my fucking Analog 3D. I was like, man, it'd be great to play Pokemon Stadium right now. I'm like, I have a Switch online. I can just play with that.
Everybody, that's another episode of Kinda Funny Games Daily in the books. Remember, we run you through the nerdy news you need to know about each and every weekday on youtube.com/kindafunnygames, twitch.tv/kindafunnygames, Apple and Spotify. We kick off a live programming day that never ends, except for when it ends in the afternoon. Today, of course, you're leading from this right into our review of Marvel Cosmic Invasion on the Kinda Funny Gamescast. Then it's the Kinda Funny podcast. Then it's us streaming Cosmic Invasion, giving away game codes. Maybe a controller, a fight stick. I need to see if it came or if it's in my thing or what's going on. We'll find out about it. But we couldn't do without you. Pick up a Kinda Funny membership, Patreon, YouTube, Spotify, or Apple to keep the lights and mics on. For now, it's time for your Gamescast. But until next time, it's been our pleasure to serve you.